Good morning, everybody. I'm Pradeep Khosla. I'm the Dean of the College of Engineering, and thank you all for joining us today. It's indeed a great pleasure and an honor to welcome our Senator Casey today, who's going to talk about the future in the context of environment, innovation, and job creation. And it is particularly appropriate that he's doing this in this building, which is a recently opened building. It's called the Hillman Center for Future Technologies. And I think this is one of the first talks on the future that we're going to hear from a U.S. Senator. And I want to thank Dean Randy Bryant. Randy Bryant is the Dean of School of Computer Science for allowing us to use this building. Actually, kicking classes out so that we can use this building. So, thank you, Randy. That is our imperative for the future. That's how much we care about it. This event is also being hosted by the Steinbrenner Institute, which is a university-wide institute that brings together more than 20 centers across the university focused on environment, energy, sustainability, both in education and research. And the Steinbrenner Institute has literally been the voice of Carnegie Mellon when it comes to environment and energy, and it is being led by an extremely environmentally conscious and energetic person and a visionary, David Zombach. So I want to recognize David Zombach. David, you got it. Now, institutes like this don't get built out of nothing. They get built because we have a great set of faculty, we have great students, we have great reputation in this area. And to recognize this takes a real connoisseur, somebody who has an appreciation and a good taste for quality. And those people are Lowell and Jane Steinbrenner, after whom this institute is named. And it was Lowell's vision and passion that created it. So Lowell, thank you very much, sir. Lowell's also a trustee at Carnegie Mellon. And last but not the least, I want to introduce Ed Rubin, a great colleague. I won't tell you how long he's been at Carnegie Mellon, only because I asked him to change his picture, and he says, no, that picture stays. I said, okay, fine, Ed. Ed is one of the leaders within the country and the world in the area of environment and energy, and he spent about 3 or 4 decades of his life thinking about environment and energy when it was not very hot, when it was not very fashionable. And as a consequence of his great work, he was part of the IPCC team that co-shared the Nobel Prize with Senator Gore and then Vice President Gore. So, Ed, thank you very much for introducing the senator, and with much, Ed, it's yours. Thank you, Ed.
Thanks, Pradeep, for those kind words. And let me also extend to all of you here a very warm welcome to our campus. I should especially say for the students who are here that you should also know that anytime you have to sit through 2 layers of introductions before we get to the main speaker, you can be assured that that person is indeed someone very important. So let me just briefly say a few words. First, that it's indeed a great pleasure for me to introduce Senator Casey to you here today. My understanding is this is just his second visit to Carnegie Mellon, so we're especially happy and honored to have him here with us. Some of you perhaps know that the senator was born and raised in Scranton, PA, the other side of the state. And after finishing college, he spent a year working as a volunteer teacher and basketball coach at an inner-city school in Philadelphia. After earning a law degree from Catholic University, he returned home to Scranton to begin the practice of law. Later in 1996, he entered public service here in Pennsylvania, winning elections first as the state's Auditor General, then 8 years later as state treasurer. In 2006, just 3 years ago last week, he became the first Pennsylvania Democrat to be elected to a full U.S. Senate term in more than 40 years, and by one of the biggest margins in the history of U.S. Senate elections. In Congress these past 3 years, Senator Casey serves on 5 major committees of the Senate, including the Agricultural Committee and the Senate Foreign Relations Committee. He also chairs 2 important subcommittees. In all of these endeavors, my spies tell me that he has developed a strong reputation, and it's clear from everything I've seen personally, as someone who has been working very hard and very effectively for the people of this state and for the country as a whole. But in the context of today's visit, you should also know that he's been a strong and consistent advocate of a forward-looking energy policy, one that can reduce our enormous dependence on foreign oil, and an environmental policy that mandates reductions in global warming pollution, which is arguably the most challenging and most pressing environmental issue facing the world today, one that will affect all of us and our families and generations to come. In that context, you should also know that he is someone who understands that solutions to the problem of global climate change will require U.S. leadership in the international community, that solutions will involve major changes in the ways we produce and use energy, but that these changes also afford enormous opportunities to create new industries, new jobs, and a sustainable prosperity for years and decades to come. So finally, let me say that I've been especially impressed by the Senator's wisdom and superb good judgment in choosing to come to Pittsburgh and Carnegie Mellon today for his first major public address on these issues. So please join me in welcoming the Honorable Bob Casey.